I spent 11 years as a casino floor manager in Las Vegas, and what I'm about to tell you could cost me every connection I still have in the industry. There are 7 types of slot machines that casino management literally celebrates when we see you sit down to play. We have internal names for them. We track them in meetings, and we build quarterly revenue projections around the assumption that you will keep playing them. Then there are 5 types of players that make us genuinely nervous. The kind that cost us money. The kind we wish would just go play somewhere else. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why one group funds the entire casino operation, while the other barely breaks even for the house. More importantly, you will know which side you have been on and how to switch. Let me start by showing you the 7 machines and behaviors we pray you never stop doing. If you ignore what I am about to share, you will keep bleeding money at a rate 3 to 4 times faster than you need to. You will walk out of casinos convinced you almost broke even when you actually lost hundreds. You will chase jackpots that have worse odds than getting struck by lightning. And you will do it all while the pit bosses watch the surveillance cameras and smile, because they know exactly what is happening to your bankroll. Today I'm going to walk you through denomination traps, volatility mismatches, progressive jackpot math, psychological manipulation through sound and celebration, location strategy, player card myths, and the single discipline that separates winners from losers. In a minute, I will reveal the one type of progressive jackpot that actually becomes beatable, but most players walk right past it because they do not know what to look for. Let's start with machine type number 1, the one we loved most: penny video slots, penny slots. There was a regular I called Sarah, a retired nurse, a sweet lady who came in every Thursday afternoon with exactly $100. She would sit at the same penny slot near the food court and play for 3 hours. She told me once she felt smart because it was only pennies, so her money lasted longer. Here's what Sarah did not know. Penny slots have the worst return to player percentage on the entire casino floor. According to Nevada Gaming Commission public reports, penny machines pay back between 84 and 88% on average. Compare that to dollar denomination machines at 92 to 94%. That is a 6 to 8% gap. But it gets worse for Sarah. She was not betting pennies. She was playing 50 lines at 2 credits per line. That is $1 per spin. She was burning through the same amount as someone on a dollar machine, but getting 6 to 8% worse math. Players see the word penny and think they are playing cheap. With 50, 80, sometimes 100 pay lines, you are actually betting $2 to $10 per spin on the worst odds in the building. Sarah would do about 900 spins over 3 hours. That is a lot of spins. And at $1 a spin, it adds up fast. $900 in total wagers, at 86% return to player. The theoretical math says she walks away with $774. That's a $126 loss every single Thursday. She played for 2 years. That's over $13,000. And she had no idea because the losses came in such small, steady amounts. Former casino executives from multiple properties have confirmed that penny slot players collectively generate more revenue than any other single category. We called them the backbone. Machine type number 2, strip casino slots. This is the location trap. Nevada Gaming Commission reports are public record, and they show something tourists never check. Downtown Las Vegas, casinos pay back an average of 92.8% on dollar slots. Strip casinos pay 89.4%. That's a 3.4% difference. For every $100 you run through a strip machine, you're losing an extra $3.40 compared to downtown. We could set tighter machines on the strip because we had captive audiences. Tourists on vacation aren't driving 20 minutes off property to get better odds. I watched a couple, Mark and Linda, come to their anniversary trip every year for 5 years straight. They stayed at a major strip property and played the slots in their hotel for convenience. Over 5 years, they put approximately $50,000 through those machines. Based on the floor average return to player for that property, they lost $5,300. If they had played the same amount downtown or at a locals casino, their expected loss drops to $3,600. That $1,700 convenience fee bought them nothing except proximity to their hotel room. And we encouraged this. Marketing would comp strip guests with free play and resort credits, specifically to keep them on property. The value of those comps was a tiny fraction of the extra house edge we extracted. Machine type number 3, progressive. His name was Marcus. He was a middle manager at a tech company. He was chasing megabucks. Megabucks is the famous wide area progressive that can pay millions. Marcus convinced himself he was due to hit it. Here is the math we do not advertise. To fund massive jackpots, the machine diverts 1 to 5% of every bet into the progressive pool. A regular slot might pay 92% return to player. The progressive version of the same game drops to 88% base game, because that 4% is funding the jackpot. Marcus played 2 to 3 times per week, at $3 per spin. That's $1,800 per over 18 months. He probably put $80,000 to $100,000 through megabucks. He never hit the big jackpot. The odds are approximately 1 in 50 million. You are literally more likely to get struck by lightning. Marcus did hit the mid-level jackpot twice, winning about $1,000 each time. Those wins reinforced his belief that he was getting closer. This is intermittent reinforcement, the same psychological mechanism that makes gambling addictive. The last anyone heard, his wife discovered the extent of his losses and they separated. This story repeats constantly with progressive chasers. And speaking of psychology, hold on. Machine type number 6 is where the manipulation gets truly weaponized, and I will show you exactly how your brain gets hacked in just a moment. Machine type number 4, branded slots, Wheel of Fortune, Game of Thrones, Sex and the City, any slot with a television show or movie license. Former IGT executives have finally admitted what we knew all along. Someone has to pay for those licensing rights. That someone is you. Quarter denomination, Wheel of Fortune machines typically pay between 86% and 88% return to player. A generic quarter video slot at the same casino might pay 91% to 93%. Manufacturers pay enormous fees to use popular brands. To maintain profit margins, casinos reduce player returns by 4 to 6%. There was a regular named Frank who loved Wheel of Fortune because he loved the TV show. Over 2 years, he put $40,000 through that machine and won back $28,000, according to his own estimates. If he had played a generic machine with 92% return to player, instead of 87%, he would have won back closer to $36,800. His brand loyalty cost him $8,800. We counted on exactly this behavior. Players choose familiar, exciting themes over boring, generic games, even when the math is demonstrably worse. Machine type number 5, high volatility slots without a proper bankroll. I could spot this player from across the floor. Someone sits down at Dead or Alive or Book of Dead with $100 and expects to play for an hour. That money is gone in 15 minutes. High volatility machines pay less frequently, but when they pay, it is often in larger amounts. The hit frequency might be 12 to 15%. That means 85% of your spins pay nothing. If you are betting $2 per spin on high volatility, you need $400 to $600 minimum to have a reasonable chance of lasting long enough to hit a bonus round. But here's what we observe constantly. Players would see someone hit a massive bonus, maybe 500 or 1,000 times their bet, and immediately think, I want that. They would sit down with inadequate bankroll, burn through it in 20 minutes, leave frustrated, then pull more money from the ATM. The quick turnover meant more players cycling through machines. The frustration drove additional deposits. There was a player, David, who only played high volatility slots, but always brought $500 to $1,000. He would set a loss limit at 40% and walk when he hit it. David was one of the players we feared because he had discipline. His losses were minimal compared to average players. Now here is machine type number 6. This is the one that former slot designers have called psychological warfare. Losses disguised as wins. This is standard on almost every modern video slot, and it is devastatingly effective. You are playing a 50-line slot, betting $2 per spin. The reels spin. You land winning combinations on 7 of your 50 lines. The machine celebrates with flashing lights and winning sounds. Your brain registers it as a win, but you only won back 80 cents. You just lost $1.20, but the machine celebrated it anyway. This is intentional design. Academic research from the University of Waterloo shows players with sound on players overestimate their wins by 30 to 40% compared to players with the sound muted. One study had participants play 300 spins and estimate how many times they won more than they wagered. The average estimate was 112 wins. The actual number was 28. I watched a bachelorette party play Sex and the City slots for 2 hours. According to transaction records, they collectively lost $2,200. As they left, I overheard them saying that was so fun, and we almost broke even. They had no idea how much they had actually lost, because the machine celebrated their losses the entire time. Brain scans from gambling research show your brain responds almost identically to losses disguised as wins, as it does to actual wins. This is the most effective player retention tool ever developed. Players stay longer, play more, lose more, and genuinely believe they are doing better than they are. Machine type number 7, sound on players. I could identify this player immediately. Headphones on, volume cranked, completely immersed. That is exactly where we wanted you. Audio engineers who work for slot manufacturers have revealed the sounds are tuned to the key of C major, because it creates what they call a pleasingly harmonic player journey. Celebration sounds play even on losses disguised as wins. The duration and complexity of sound? It increases with perceived win size even when you are losing overall. Studies show players with sound on play 27% longer sessions and give back 34% more of their wins compared to players with the sound muted. I would occasionally see a player mute their machine and internally groan because they had just increased their awareness and decreased our edge. There was a regular named Janet who played video poker with headphones for 6 to 8 hour sessions, completely zoned out. She was in what researchers call the machine zone, a trance-like state, where awareness of time, money, and surroundings fades. Players in the machine zone burn through money without conscious awareness. The single best protection on any machine is hitting mute immediately. Silent play increases conscious awareness of losses by approximately 40%. You will notice patterns faster. You will recognize when you are losing. You will be more likely to walk away. So those are the 7 types we pray you are. We built our quarterly projections around these behaviors. But now let me show you the 5 types that actually make us nervous. Fear type number 1, high denomination players who understand the math. Dollar slots pay between 92% and 94%. Penny slots pay between 84% and 88%. That is a 6 to 8% difference. We feared the player who understood that betting $1 per spin on a dollar machine is mathematically superior to betting $3 per spin on a penny machine. There was a player named Robert, who only played quarters or dollars, never pennies. Over 5 years of regular play, his expected theoretical loss was 30% lower than a penny player with identical total coin in. Higher denomination machines offer better return to player because each spin generates more revenue for the casino. A dollar machine at 93% makes more per spin than a penny machine at 86%, even though the penny machine keeps a higher percentage. Fear. Type number 2, Must hit by progressive hunters. This is advantage play. Must hit by progressives are guaranteed to hit between specific amounts, for example, $400 to $500. As the meter approaches 495, the expected value shifts in the player's favor, because someone will win very soon. I would occasionally see players scouting the floor with notebooks, tracking these progressives, only sitting down when they found one above 90% of maximum range. One player we called Alex was notorious. He would walk the entire casino, check every must hit by machine, and only play when the math favored him. Alex was probably profitable over time because he only played positive expected value situations. We tried spreading must hit machines. They spaced the machines far apart to make scouting harder. Determined advantage players still found them, and this is the payoff I promised earlier. If you see a must hit by progressive at 98% of its maximum, that is the only time a progressive actually makes mathematical sense, but you have to camp that machine until it hits. Fear type number 3, player card plus high denomination users. A $1 player with a player card gets 0.2 to 0.3% back in comps. That is not enough to overcome the house edge, but it significantly reduces theoretical loss. There was a player named Margaret who played dollars exclusively and always used her card. She would earn $30 to $40 in comps per session through free play, meals, and rooms, over a year that added up to $1,500 to $2,000 in comps. While Margaret still had a net theoretical loss, her comps reduced actual out-of-pocket expense by 40%. The worst part for us was that Margaret understood Nevada gaming law. She knew her card did not affect the random number generator or outcomes, so she used it without paranoia. Players who combine optimal denomination with full comp usage reduce profit margins significantly. Fear type number 4, locals casino players. Locals casinos set better floor averages because they compete for repeat business, not tourist foot traffic. Nevada Gaming Commission reports show off-strip casinos pay 2 to 4% better on average across all denominations. I knew regulars who only played at station casinos or other locals' properties. They understood the strip was for tourists willing to pay a location premium. Locals casinos depend on repeat customers, so they offer better odds, more generous comps, more frequent promotions. A locals casino regular playing identical hours and denominations as a strip tourist will theoretically lose 25 to 35% less over time simply due to better floor return to player. Fear type number 5, disciplined 50% loss limit players. This is the player we feared most. Someone with ironclad discipline who walks away at a predetermined loss limit. Less than 5% of players have this discipline. There was a player named Michael who the pit bosses discussed in meetings. He would come in with $500, set a loss limit at $250, and a win goal at $750. If he hit either number, he cashed out and left. Period. Over 3 years, casino records showed Michael was slightly down overall due to house edge, but his losses were 80% lower than average players with similar coin in. What made Michael terrifying was he treated gambling as entertainment with a fixed cost. Casinos make profits from players who chase losses, play through wins, and stay until they are broke. Michael did none of that. We would try comping Michael with free play, meals, and room offers, hoping to get him back after he hit his limit. It rarely worked. Players like Michael have separated emotion from gambling and treat it as a pure mathematical transaction. That is the opposite of what our entire industry is designed to create. So now you know 7 types of machines and behaviors that casino management celebrates. 5 types make us nervous. The entire casino floor is engineered to push you toward the first category and away from the second. I left casino management because I couldn't reconcile what I knew with what I watched happen every day. If you're going to play slots, play smart. Choose high denominations. Avoid strip casinos. Never chase progressives unless they are must-hit by near maximum. Mute the sound immediately. Use your player card without paranoia. Set a loss limit and stick to it religiously. The house always has a house edge, but the gap between a smart player and a sucker is worth thousands of dollars over time. Comment below and tell me which of these 7 mistakes you have been making, and be honest. I want to know if this changes how you play. Subscribe, because in the next video I am revealing the 3 specific slot games that have the highest return to player on most casino floors, and exactly where to find them.